Hi YouTube, welcome to video number 4 of the Blue Aster Creek mine layout. I've got some updates to show and a few things that have been purchased, particularly the Bachmann Spectrum 2-truck Shay that I got on eBay. Really excited about that. So I left it in the box. I did open it up and look at it, but I left it in the box so that anybody who might be interested to see how this comes shipped can see that. It was actually quite impressive, but I've got a little bit of layout update. You can probably see there I've got the sub road bed laid down. I wanted to lift that track up a little bit, laid some of the foam down, glued that, and then right now the cork road bed is just tacked in. I wetted this area down a little bit. This is a pretty tight curve down here, so I wetted that down and then bent that into shape and tacked it down with some stick pins. I'm just going to leave that there for a while in hopes that takes a little more of a curved shape before I glue it down, and that also give me the opportunity to make sure this is exactly what I want to do. Two things that have been purchased, and I know I've been preaching about going to your local hobby shops and purchasing things there if you can. I was unable to find what I thought I needed for this DC layout here, so I picked up the Aethern Power Pack. This was only 40 bucks. Actually, it was $42 and free shipping online. So it's another thing that I wanted to buy American. I always like to buy things made in USA. However, not everything's available made in USA. This is one of them, but this is more than adequate to run this Shay, and you'll see that in a moment. This is not a huge locomotive. It's actually very attractive though. So picked up the power pack. Hope to get that wired in here very soon, and just to test this out while I finish laying this track. I am ready to do that, but I want to again make sure that this is what I'm going to be satisfied with, and then glue it down and let that dry for a day or so. The big one here, the Bachmann Spectrum Shay locomotive. I mentioned I purchased this on eBay. Now I was quite surprised to even find this. Haven't really looked to see what this runs retail directly from Bachmann, but I thought $99 was a pretty good deal. So I grabbed it. It's a very, very nice looking locomotive. So let's open it up. I want to show you how this came packaged. I'm really quite impressed. Again, it is not made in USA, but I don't think any of these are. These do come from China, but I have to tell you, I'm really impressed with how this is packaged and how this thing looks. When you open it up, you have the warranty information, instructions for operating it, getting it on the layout and operating it, and also a registration form for what's called Mountain State Railroad and Logging Historical Association. I might consider that just to some information about those. I'm into history. I love that sort of thing. Now, when I first opened this up, I thought, what in the world is all this in here? If you can see, let me start pulling this out. The tender, you have the option of having a wood burning to go in the tender, a little stack of wood. It's actually quite neat. I haven't taken this out of the bag, so I don't know, what this is, if it's plastic or what it is. But there is a little wood insert for the tender. This one is a coal insert. It's obviously not coal. Really heavy though. I think it's probably all solid metal. Simulated coal to go into the back of the tender. And this one over here, which is what I saw it online with, and I thought this is the way it was going to come. This is an oil tank for the fuel oil that would be burned in the locomotive to go in the back of the tender. So that's kind of cool. I'm not sure what I'm going to end up going with. I'll probably fit them all in the back just to see how that fits, how it looks. Now, Locomotive, let me pull this out here. It's really well packaged. Quite impressed. Now this thing, the detail on this is just amazing. If I could say it again, really impressed with the detail on this. I never expected anything from China to look quite this good. Really anxious to get it going. I probably will hook up a little piece of track later and get the power onto it just to make sure that it's working properly before I give feedback to the seller on YouTube. It does say Colorado Mining Company. I'm not sure how that is, if it's painted or if that's a sticker. I don't know, probably either just paint over that or remove it and apply my own Blue Astor Creek mine. But if you can see, it is a T-shaped boiler. I really like that. And two truck, the detail, if you can see this in the, is really, really very nice. I don't know how to explain that other than to show it to everyone. I'm just really impressed with the level of detail on this. So again, this was $99. I just couldn't be happier with it. The inside of the cab is also detailed. As we get some videos going on this, you can probably get a little better look at it. But again, I just couldn't be happier. There's some little parts that I'm not certain what they are yet. So that is the Shay. Very excited about having that. And as soon as I get the power on, we'll send another video out to YouTube and show how this operates. Now, if I could remove the camera and show you what we've gotten done on the layout, you can see some of the scenery work that I have completed. Not entirely completed. I don't have it painted yet. The intent over here is a stream head and waterfall. This was plaster of Paris on top of the 2-inch thick foam, styrene foam, and Sculptamold over the top. Now the plaster of Paris didn't look very realistic, so the Sculptamold adds a bit of texture, and once it gets painted up, it ought to look pretty nice. I did get the stream also Sculptamold in the stream bed. Got a little bit more sanding to do on that, so before I get that painted. But I got some paints from the hobby shop yesterday, and we'll start with that. I might do a tutorial on the painting, although there's a lot of information online how that's done, which is where I'm getting all my information. But I just got a little piece of plywood in here right now for the bridges. As I mentioned in an earlier video, fully intend on scratch building bridge, trestle, whatever I decide. Probably more of a bridge than a trestle here. This is not a very big space to cover. Maybe get a little better look at the Shay here. Focus. There we go. I really never expected I'd be able to afford the Shay. Now this again is analog DC. Let's get a focus on this. There we go. It's really quite attractive. Nice piece of engineering here, and I couldn't be happier with it. And again, made in China, so it is what it is. It's a very nice piece of equipment, though. I'm going to be really, really satisfied with this. Again, it says Colorado Mining Company on it, so I will either paint over that. If it's a stencil, I'll try to just remove it. But either way, that'll be coming off. And we can get a better look at these. This is the wood. The wood that goes in the tender. This is the coal. Get a very good look at that, and the oil tank if you want it to burn oil. And Athearn power pack, very simple. It wasn't the cheapest one available, but the cheap one Heck, they wanted like $25 to ship that stupid thing. So for this money, I go up a little bit in quality and get free shipping. It was from I think a company called Jet online. So that is about it for now. Again, the track, the road bed, I'm getting that laid in. This is a really tight curve down here. I'm a little concerned about this 17-inch radius curve right here. I believe this Shay will have no problem with an 18-inch, and I've communicated to a few guys online that think that this locomotive can probably handle as small as a 15-inch radius. So we will find out, and we'll do a video of it and see how it runs. So for now, I've just cut all these pieces out of the foam, glued them in, fit in some other small pieces to fill the gaps. This cork roast bed is not nearly strong enough. You have to have something in these gaps for stability underneath. And again, these push pins are just holding it down now. The cork road bed has not been glued in. I'm going to let this, the instructions actually said to soak this in water for a few minutes, warm water, which I did. And it did lay down quite nice. It bent right around this radius with no problem at all. So when I get that glued down and get the track laid, I'll do another video and let you know how that worked. And that is about it. I hope you enjoyed that. I can't wait to get this thing up and running so I can show you this nice little locomotive going around its new home. Alright, thanks for watching. See ya.